So when you first open Canva, you're going to want to select Flyer and not Document. Flyer gives you a little more options as far as editing your pictures and your elements when you put them in. Document has margins that are a little bit more difficult to work with and edit, so just to make it easier, choose the Flyer option. So the first thing you want to do, and you saw me in there already, is to put your line in. If you select elements and then click on line, it'll default to the halfway position, and that gives you your area to work with. And then from there, just go back to elements and search for your graphics or your photos or whatever shapes you're looking for. So here I found a pot of gold and some stars. And you'll see when you click on it and click the plus sign, it duplicates it, and then you can just, once you've got it sized right, it's real easy to duplicate and move down to the second half. Anything you do to the top, you want to do to the bottom, so your front of your postcard looks the same as you go through. So here I'm just adding some more stars, and I've got two postcards working. Now I'm going to add some text, and I like this one because it kind of waves across. So you'll see when you click on it, you'll see a circle, so you can change how wide the wave is. So if you want to make it a smaller wave, you can. If you want to make it a bigger wave, you can do that too. And then when it's the wave like that, it has two boxes. So half of your sentence will be in one box, half of your sentence will be in the other. To change the color, just go up to the top and hit that A button, and it'll bring you your text features. So you can change your color, you can change your font, and you do it all from right there. Now here you see mine are a little bit too close, so I'm going to add a space in there, because Is Your Home and A Pot of Gold are technically two separate boxes, but we want them to flow. They're connected. So when you click on the whole box, you can copy the whole thing. Here I'm going to position it. So I've highlighted the entire box up there in the top. I hit position, and you see on your left hand bar, you've got left, center, right, top, middle, bottom. I clicked center, and that centers it in the middle of the page. Again, click on the whole box and duplicate, and now you can move it down to your lower postcard. From here, I'm going to add in my QR code. So you'll see I'm about to jump screens here in a minute and go to my Hi Hello page. Well, first I'm searching to see if I have it on my desktop anywhere. Now I'm jumping over to Hi Hello, and I'm going to get my instant valuation QR code. I'm going to select download QR code and save that to my desktop so that I can drag and drop it back into Canva. And there it is, instant valuation, putting it right on the desktop so it's easy to find. And then going back to our document that we're working on. I'm sorry, not our document, our flyer that we're working on. It's going to become our postcard. So here we go, we're back into our postcard. I'm going to grab that instant valuation QR code, just drag it and drop it right onto my postcard template. Now I can resize it by just grabbing the corner and bringing it in and placing it where I want it to go. Duplicate, drop it down to the bottom half of the page, because anything you do to the top, you want to make sure you do to the bottom. Now I'm searching for some fun fonts that are kind of pre-printed for you. So over here on the left, I like that glow. I feel like that stands out, looks good, plays off the green. So I'm going to stick that right next to the QR code to drag, to pull attention to it. You can resize it if you want it all on one line. Just play with the shape of the box. And I'm going to change the color. Going back up to the top, let's change it to green, see how that looks. And now if you go back to elements and type in arrow, there's elements, we've got pot of gold, we're going to clear that out and type in arrow. That'll give us some arrow options to use. I like this one here. So you see that's kind of a fun one. Now it's too big, so I'm going to change the shape of it. And if you click on flip, you can change the direction. Grab those little arrows down there and you can turn it however you want it to go. Once you've got it how you like it, duplicate it, drop it down. There I am, duplicating, dropping it down. And you see right there how the arrow is on top of the scan here. I'm going to click the three dots and go to layer. And I want my arrow behind the scan here. So I've clicked layer, move to the back, and that now moves the arrow behind the words that say scan here. So it still looks a little plain, so I'm going back to my elements and I'm searching for some things that we can add to the front of it to jazz it up just a little bit. So I'm looking for St. Patrick's Day themed, since this is kind of a St. Patrick's Day themed card. And I like that shamrock. So here I'm changing the size of it. And moving it to the top, and I'm going to make a little cascade of falling shamrocks. So duplicate it a bunch of times, and now you can just kind of move them around. Go to flip and just see what looks good to you. I'm thinking a cascade of shamrocks falling, so I'm just grabbing them, moving them, positioning them, and just kind of trying to create a little cascade of falling shamrocks. You can grab and position them, tilt them. And remember, if you want to flip or change the direction of the shamrock, you go up to the top bar right there and click flip, and you decide if you want horizontal or vertical. And again there, I'm layering it behind the words because I want the words to be seen. Just playing with the placement a little bit. Grabbing that shamrock and moving it back, and then you can grab your whole line there. And check the position, make sure it's center. if you go to check the position of something and you want to center it and center is grayed out, that means it's already centered. You're good. You don't have to do anything. So you saw me delete one. I'm going to play with the transparency of these a little bit, see how I like some that you can see through more than others. And that's that little checkerboard at the top. Click on the little checkered board, and 100% means you can't see through it at all, and then you can kind of decide what you like going through. Okay, so I don't have all of the shamrocks on there, but we're going to go ahead and add a page. So click add a page, and the first thing you do is you put your line in at the halfway point so you know where you're going. And now here I also like to do a vertical line so that I know where my text is going to go and where my address is going to go. So choose a second line and use the little arrows and watch the degree. You want it to be right at 90 degrees. And then move it over. So I don't think we need too much space for the address label and stamp, because that's what's going to be on the right side. The left side is going to have your message. And here I'm going to check and make sure I didn't move that line a little bit. So I'm going to make sure that it's right at 90 degrees. There we go. All right. So from here, now we've got to figure out what we're going to say. This is the back of your postcard. So I'm going over to ChatGPT, my favorite, OpenAI, give it the prompt, let it know who they are and what you're doing. So I like to give it the prompt, you are a real estate broker in the metro Atlanta area. And then I don't want a long passageway on the back. I don't need a lot of text. I need 2 to 4 sentences for a postcard to potential clients. And I want ChatGPT to voice it in a friendly, approachable tone. Now you can say whatever you want there. You can say voice it like a TED Talk. You can voice it like Moira Rose from Schitt's Creek. You can do whatever you want. I'm also telling it that there is a call to action and that I want people to scan the QR code to get a valuation on their property. And the theme of the card is St. Patrick's Day. The most important thing is to ask, do you need any other information? So you can see that ChatGPT responds right away, no further information is needed. Here's a draft for your postcard. It even gives you little elements to put in there. And so from here, all you have to do is copy and paste, and then go over and add your text box. Place it where you want it on the back of your postcard. Highlight the whole passage. Copy it and paste it right into there. And now from here, you can shape the paragraph however you want it. If you want a larger text box, you can make it larger. If you want to center it, if you want to move the text to the right or the left, it just depends on what you like in terms of how your text looks. And then again, click on the box, hit duplicate, drop it down to the lower side. I am looking for my picture, so I'm going to put my picture on the back of the postcard. So you see me scrolling through all of my marketing materials on my desktop, looking for my headshot there. And there it is. It's in my folder that says market analysis. No wonder I couldn't find it. Now I don't need to be huge like that. So again, I'm going to just size my picture how I want it, how I think it'll look. Here, if you want to edit your photo, you can flip it. You can have it so, see how I'm kind of facing to the left there. If I want to be facing to the right, I can edit photo, I can flip it, I can move it where I want the picture to look. Now on the Pro version, you can also delete backgrounds, but this is the free version, and I wanted to make everything using the free version, so I'm going to leave it just like it is with the white background, which means I'm going to have to do some layering if I want to add anything to it. So here I'm still sizing the picture, trying to get it just where I want it to be. I think I like that size, so I duplicate, put one down on the bottom. So from here, I think what I decided to do was add some shamrocks just to kind of put around my picture. So again, to find things like shamrocks, you're going to go over to Elements, and then you'll do the search, and then you can pick what you want. If you kind of think of it like a stamp, you're just stamping it around, trying to figure out how you like the design. So there I've got one shamrock, and I'm going to play with layering a little bit to see how I like it. And here I'm going into Edit Photo, and that's where you've got the option to take the background out. And since that is a paid version, I'm going to play with layering instead of taking out the background. So you can see how the edge of my picture is covering up the shamrock. So I've gone to Layer, and I said bring that shamrock forward so my picture is behind the shamrock. If you kind of think of it like stacking papers on top of each other, you can layer the elements in your pictures however you want them. And again, you're just flipping these, moving them horizontally, vertically, using the arrow option on the bottom to kind of angle how you want it. Now here's where I'm going to put in my information. So I want it to kind of go next to my picture. So I've got my name, my phone number, I'm going to put my email and all of that kind of thing right here in a text box. And then I can grab that whole text box and move it where I need it to go. I'm going to highlight it, line it up, because I want my back on the text box there. Now that shamrock I feel like is kind of covering up my information, so I just made it more transparent. And here I went over and clicked on Elements, and I found a rectangle that I wanted to put behind my information to make it stand out just a little bit more. And I'm changing the color now to go with our St. Patrick's Day theme, and I'm making it a little bit more transparent so you can see what's behind it. And I'm going to play with those layers. I'm going to send the green box to the back and bring that shamrock up. Just to make my information stand out just a little bit more. Now, I also want to call people to my TikTok because I feel like I've got a lot of good information there, and I want to get some followers. So I found a TikTok logo. You see that it's black and white. You can't really change the color of that. So I'm going to layer again and put it on a background that we'll be able to easily see. So I'm shaping my logo, my TikTok logo, to fit down there below my information. Lining it all up. Adding a text box so I can say, you know, how they can find me on TikTok, what my name is. And here you can put all of your social media. They've got all of the different social media things. You can do Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, wherever you want people to find you. For this particular postcard, I'm only going to do TikTok, and I'm going to make it kind of big and direct people to my video. On the back of the card, I'm going to put another one of my QR codes to get people to go to that instant valuation, because that's what I really want to get out to people. I want that in their hands. Going back to that same glow, just to try to catch their eye and drag their attention towards that QR code. Grabbing an arrow, changing the color so we can see it, and I'm going to flip it around and size it. Got my Smoke Rise Agents logo, drag and drop that on. And see how it got behind that text box. I had to move that out of the way to get my logo pulled up. Once I've got the size I like, just copy it, drag it and drop it down to the bottom side. Copy and move it down. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect top and bottom. They do not have to be exactly the same, because everybody's going to get just one postcard. So nobody is going to be comparing postcards to see if you're off anywhere. So don't worry if it's not exactly the same. That's why we put those lines up, so they can kind of guide you and help you keep everything in the spot that it needs to be. Okay, so from here, all you're doing is you're copying everything that's on the top part of your postcard and moving it down to the bottom. So you've got 2 postcards. So you'll see me copy everything, move it, place it. And yes, you have to copy everything. Now there's a way, and I'm sure that somebody that's more versed in Canva can lock everything together so that you can copy the whole group, but we're just trying to do it down and dirty, get it done quick, and get these postcards out. Copy, paste, slide it down. Moving my TikTok. Making sure all the little elements are where I want them, how I want them to look. Duplicating the TikTok logo. Duplicating my handle. Here I'm going to add another little text box. So if it goes to a house where, you know, it's like my parents, maybe they don't know how to scan, they can also find me online. And there's my website right there. So hopefully they'll be able to see www.corbett-realestate.com if they don't know how to do the QR code scanning. And that's essentially it. You've got front and back postcards. So now when you print these out, if you print them double-sided, adding the address, so add a text box. Now you can add the the address for the office. So when you go to print these out, you'll want to make sure that you print double-sided, flip on the long edge, and that'll make your front to back postcards 2 on a page. Cut them in half, stick a postcard stamp on them, and they're ready to go. Here, I'm double checking the front, and I'm realizing that I don't have enough on the bottom. So now I'm going to move my shamrock cascade. Just playing with those shamrocks, trying to make them look kind of fun. Looks like I've got a lot of white space, so now I'm going to look for other things to add to this. So just doing a general search for St. Patrick's Day, clicking on See All to see what we've got. Anything that doesn't have a pro by it, I like that rainbow, so I'm going to size it. Well, I'm layering it first. I'm going to send it to the back because I want that to be kind of the backdrop, and now I'm making it more transparent, and I am sizing it to fit on the postcard, and I kind of like how it looks like the rainbow's connecting the pot of gold to my QR code. So again, I duplicated that, taking it down to the bottom, fitting it on there, positioning it, layering it to the back. And I got my rainbow connecting my pot of gold to the QR code. You'll see that transparencies have numbers. So on the bottom, it turns out that I liked a transparency of 48. So I made sure that they were both transparency of 48 there. From here, click on Share, go to Download, and here you've got some download options. Oh, I almost forgot. I want to take my lines out. So now I'm going back and I'm deleting my lines. I like a line separating the words from the address. So here I'm going to make that just a thinner line so it's not so pronounced. But if you click on that line and change the weight, that'll make it a nice little thin line. You can leave the lines in if you want, just personal preference for me. I leave the one line in and take the dividing line out. Now you can download it when you're ready. Click on File Type. I like PDF Print, best for printing. Hit Download and you'll see it go up to the top of the screen. Change the right there in the top where it says Try Canva Pro. If you want to give it a specific name, that's where you change the name. PDF Print, download, and you'll see the file loading up. From there, you are ready to move it to your desktop. There it goes. Click the down arrow, grab that, slide it right over to your desktop, and you're done. You're ready to print. I hope this was helpful.